We live, just checking up on YouTube here. Making sure, yes, we are. Great. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show, Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, Steve Strazza. JC will be back tomorrow. He's taking care of some business today. He'll be back on tomorrow's show. What are we talking about today? We're talking about shit coins. Yeah. The fart coin is rolling over for me hard. It was kind of the fart coin and the butthole were the only things holding up my shitcoin portfolio. And those have rolled over a little bit. So not looking good for me and the shitcoins, but what are you going to do, right? Okay, on a serious note, what do we have today? We have American Airlines reporting. I want to talk about that. We have GE Aerospace reporting. I want to talk about that. EA gave some guidance. No bueno. I want to talk about that. And we'll see what chart Steve has. Steve always surprises us. We never quite know what is on Steve's mind. I know what was on his mind yesterday, and I read the Strazza letter last night, so I know what he was thinking about last night. But as far as this morning goes, who knows? Could be anything. We'll have John Salama on the show today from Maverick Trading. We will have Sean McLaughlin on the show, and we'll have Kenny Glick on the show as well. So that is the rundown. Let's catch up on the chat. I have reached out to Dietrich. Dietrich will come on the show soon. I don't have a date yet, but we're working on it. I would say next couple of weeks, probably. And what else we got going on here? Anything? Micro? Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Cool. Okay, here we go. Oh, your camera slipped around. This is weird. Your room is backwards.
Ryan Dietrich's playing hard to get?
No, I would not say that.
Right.
I would not say that. We had to reschedule him a few weeks back. So we're working on it. No big deal. Anyway, what's going on?
Nothing, man. Just another Thursday. It's been a solid week. This is a follow-through week.
Dude, all-time highs, baby.
Yeah, big follow-through week. I think they're going to stick these breakouts, finally. Tech stocks look fantastic. Industrials look so good. The breadth in financials continues to be as good as anything. A lot of those false starts from last week and the week before are now turning into valid breakouts. It's really positive stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for the indexes, ATH, right? S&P, all-time highs. I'd love to see it.
This is a great question. I miss you, Rachel. This is so good. Can you set a stop loss on Spot Dog? I got one better. Would you want to?
Yeah, I don't think you would. I think that defeats the purpose, right? Do I have stop losses on my shit coins? Most certainly not. Do I have any plan whatsoever? Absolutely not. Right? Of course I don't. This is also play money, right? And the point is, I'm just assuming for every 8 or 9 of these things that I buy, for every 10 of them that I buy, 8 or 9 probably go to zero. A couple of them probably do pretty well, right? That's kind of the way I'm going about this. So we'll see.
And just to be clear, I don't like this. Take it easy, Ovabone. Ryan's a dear friend of ours, and we're aware of the situation. But thank you.
Oh yeah, Ryan's awesome. Like I said, we'll get Ryan on. No big deal. Someone asked about it. We'll get him on in a few weeks. Speaking of a few weeks, I should mention just public service announcement, programming note. We are doing a show tomorrow, and we're doing a show on Monday. But next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're not doing any shows. We'll all be in New York, or most of us will be in New York, doing some meetings, having some discussions, doing some stuff. Going to
we might do a show.
Oh, you might do a show. Oh, it's news to me. Okay, we'll see what happens. How about that? Okay, let's do a quick state of the markets, and then we'll see what's we'll see what's going on. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Throw up the earnings. table while I get started here?
Pretty mixed out there this morning. Yeah, we got the earnings table coming out. We got, let's see, S&P futures a little bit in the red. Well, all major index futures in the red this morning a little bit. Russell down 0.5%. That's kind of leading the way. Dow Jones futures in the green. Look at that. Gold down 1%. Bitcoin down 2%. ETH leading this morning, outperforming Bitcoin at least. And what do we have? Dollar up. What else is going on? Europe up. What else jumps out to me here? Asia, Japan up, right? Hong Kong down.
Stock market futures are, for the most part, down slightly. Dow is indicated up a tiny bit here. Russell down about, I don't know, 0.40%. S&P down slightly, right?
Yeah, S&P futures down. To me, that's unchanged. They're down 0.1%, right? To me, that's nothing.
Tech giving a little back here.
Half a percent, right? A little bit.
Any big tech reports today? Because I know we had.
No. Well, I mean, do you count TXN as a big tech report? I feel like it used to be. I don't know if it still is considered a big.
Textron?
Texas Instruments?
No.
That's not big to you? Then no, I would say, to answer your question.
I don't think so.
Next week is a big earnings week, is the big earnings week. But we had some, we were talking about GE yesterday, right? So we had GE report this morning, and they're doing all the good financial engineering things, right? Like dividend raises and buyback increases and all that good stuff. All the things that the street likes to see. So they're having a good morning. American Airlines, not so much. But want to talk about any of it? I think we have a few charts handy.
Yeah, it is interesting. Billy makes an interesting comment about how things look terrible right before they look fantastic again. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You get to this point where it looks like everything's rolling over. Market looks so vulnerable. Breath is terrible. We're talking about the potential of a fall day. And then all of a sudden, bang, they come and they save them. You get this massive reaction rally. Breath improves and supports it, and everybody's good. So same thing happened off of the nasty Q3 sell-off in 2023, and it happened last year.
Same thing happened in, what was it, October, Steve?
What?
Was it October of last year? When we had that? When was that?
It was October of 23.
Oh, wait. No,
and then it was really August last year.
August, right. I'm trying to think back to oh no, it was late October late October last year, early November, late October. We had
things start looking like tops.
Yeah, and then and then within a week or two, the whole thing is resolved, right?
We didn't even test those lows at the index level from October. That's interesting.
No, but we were definitely. I mean, there was reason to be bearish. Well, there's always reason to be bearish, right? But there's reason to be bearish then. But it doesn't last. That's what we've seen time and time again. It doesn't last.
And the S&P 500 has masked this whole corrective wave so well. Like, shout out S&P, down 4%, max drawdown. But that doesn't really tell you what happened. If you look at the equal weight S&P 500, not only did it have one of its worst daily losing streaks in history, but the RSP fell more like 8%. So double the damage there on an equal weight basis. That's interesting.
Yeah, and if you look at the sectors, right? I mean, it all looks good except for Staples, right? Staples, but that's okay. That's good. That's what you want to see, right? Is Staples lagging, which they are.
Yeah, Staples are doing terrible, and particularly on relative terms, which is fine. That's actually bullish. I think yesterday the big development is the semiconductors. Let's throw up that chart, Alfonso.
Are you saying we can't have a party without the chips? Did I see that in an email last night?
Yeah, Alfonso wrote a great post about this. Drop the link to it. So SMH resolving clean resolution above this really clear shelf of prior highs from last year, late last year. And that's a breakout. So I think next step or next stop for something like SMH is about 5% higher, those all-time highs from the summer. And if you look at the XSD, I think you're getting confirmation on an equal weight basis. XSD, when you zoom out, is so much cleaner than SMH and is just coming out of this big base above its prior cycle highs from late 2021. So both of those charts going together, the equal semis and the cap semis, I think that's as good of a bullish signal as we're going to get right now. Did you throw up the other one too? Yeah. Wow. Look at that. Clean. Both pretty clean. So we have some big levels there. And it's not just semis. Everything in tech is working. I think it's a big deal to see some of these Mag 7s resolve higher from these bullish continuation patterns. I think the financials are just rocking day in and day out with these earnings reports. Breadth is solid in tech. Industrials have been as good as anything since last week. Just look at these industrial charts. Probably been the best place to be. How the homies rebound and start working the speculative.
Is there anything not to like right now? I mean, there's individual headlines on company specific things, sure, but
space
on a larger level,
space exploration stocks just took out their prior cycle highs, and in what is truly just been an epic move. So if you look at something like the ARC X,
I always forget that they have a space one.
So you say, is there anything that's not working?
Yeah, I mean, there's at the company level, at the stock specific level, there are things that are not working, sure, but on an industry or sector level, there's not a lot that's not working. There's not a lot.
Solar energy, different areas of materials continue struggling.
I should have rephrased that point. Is there anything that would make you like? Is there anything happening out there?
Nothing important.
Nothing important, right? That's what I'm getting at, right? Like the things that are underperforming, that's okay, right? Like the staples. Totally.
The important stuff is either working or repairing damage, making the save. Like one of the more concerning trends in something pro-cyclical or risk-on, Spencer, like to answer your question, would be home builders, right? But what a big rebound we're getting from the homies. Digging in, here they are on a relative basis.
Been waiting for that for a while now.
Just to really clean support level, throwing back, retesting.
Yeah, it was a tough back half of the year it was a tough, I guess, end of the year for the home.
But you look at the industrials and that action in the industrials off of, what was it, Monday's candle from last week. Just sweet follow through, heading back to those old all-time highs. I think that's what home builders eventually look like. And if you look at something like the ITB, Spencer, that's a trade. Yeah, 18% back to those highs. So, do we have a chart of just the homies like ITB?
You prefer ITB over XHB?
I don't care. I don't overthink it. JC was just talking about this with the guys on Compound. They don't look different enough for me to really think about it.
No, I was just looking at that.
I guess some of them have the improvement stores, some of them don't. Or some of them have like the furniture stores, like the Williams-Sonomas and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Here's what I think. You're doing a home building index, right? It should be everything. It should be all the construction stocks, but that should just be a part of it.
It should be any money you or anyone will spend on or in a home.
Trex, AZEC, all the building materials, all the flooring companies, all the insulation companies, right? It should really be, you could build a huge basket because there's a lot of different companies from a lot of different industry groups, not just home construction.
Right. Furniture, paint.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Like, I don't know if they are, but Sherwin-Williams should be in that index as far as I'm concerned. I like a broad homie view. Yeah. They all work together when they work too.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I was looking at this company Builders First Source. Man, that's just been one of the best building materials names, and it's been just kind of dead sideways here for a year now. Looks like a big old top, probably not one. Have we pissed off enough people about the GLP-1 stuff? We don't need to talk about that again today.
We haven't really been talking. I mean, it got brought up the other day, right? But we haven't talked about Novo or Eli for a hot minute. The thing is about like Novo, for example. I guess both of them really, but like narratives persist longer than they should, right? But like on the upside and on the downside, we know this. So like, if you ask anybody that like that casually follows this stuff, they probably say, "Oh yeah, Novo, Eli Lilly, like crushing it. Yeah, man, 2 thumbs up," without realizing that it's been a really, really brutal drawdown for those names.
These trends are over. Like you do the simplest form of trend following analysis on these, what were, wonder stocks. I'll call them wonder stocks, wonder drugs and wonder stocks for, I don't know, the past 5 years off of the pandemic low. Both of these names returned about 500% to their highs from last year. And if you just throw a long-term moving average, throw a 200-day, simple, on any of these charts, they've rolled over. Trend is not sideways. It's definitely not higher. It's lower. Primary trend reversed for Novo months ago. A nasty top. That top. We talked about this. Do you remember us talking about this as it was printing?
Yeah,
About this.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot.
What a short this will be. Lily's there right now. Lily is what Novo was back in October.
Now that being said, obviously,
Novo didn't even give us a right shoulder. These bastards.
Look, that being said, I think we can both agree that there is a floor here somewhere. These companies are not the same companies that they were 4 years ago. These drugs do make a difference.
They better not be, Spencer. They're 500% higher.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, right? So there is a floor. There is a floor. I don't know where it is, right? Maybe it's at 80 in Novo, or 70. What's that? What's that support there? What is that? 70? I don't know. 75?
Yeah.
75? I don't know. But
it's 75. Dude, the stock's in like a 50% drawdown right now.
Yeah. And this is the kind of thing that can happen when you chase, right? It doesn't always happen this way. But
do you think that the feel on the street is that these are still wonder drugs in a 45% drawdown?
Like I said, depends who you ask. If you ask someone that kind of follows the market via the news, they probably think they because there's still a whole every week there's more headlines about these companies and these drugs all the time.
Rose has been watching like the YouTube video horror stories about them. It's a whole.
I don't know anything about that.
You can't believe everything you hear with this because it's become such like a battleground news situation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crap out there, it seems. And I don't know who to believe or what to believe. I know some people that take them.
Yeah, me too.
They seem to work great for whoever I talk to. But I don't think they're going to work great for. Did you read what I put in the post? So this excerpt from the Economist article is all I need to know about these drugs. They started as treatments for diabetes and obesity. That alone would have qualified them as wonder drugs. Now they're being found to help with cardiovascular and kidney disease too. And they're being tested for use against Alzheimer's and addiction. Researchers are even talking in hushed tones of their anti-aging effects.
All right. That's where you start to lose me here.
What? So I think the bear thesis for this, if you do want to be bearish, is really simple. If these drugs are priced now by the market to treat everyone for everything in the future, they can't go higher. How do you do better than that? How do you go up from there? Your stock price is based on the market's expectations of, what you're going to deliver in the future. If you're treating everyone, the whole world, for everything, every new indication this thing keeps getting approved for. I don't know.
Well, it goes back to the question yesterday. Is like, what is Netflix's total addressable market? I mean, there's a few billion people. There's 8 billion people, right, in the world. So, if the drug does everything, you know what I mean. But no,
$700 billion market cap.
Yeah,
I think we're already priced for a big piece. You're right, Spencer. Right? If they're really going to treat the whole world, we're talking a much bigger market cap here. But 700 billion. This thing's got 200 billion on UNH.
Yeah.
Merck and J&J combined.
Yeah. Can we talk EA for a second here? This is your disaster of the morning here. I feel so bad for this stock, man. It finally broke out. This thing hadn't made a new all-time high since 2018. It finally broke out like a month or two ago. Finally. And then what do they do this morning? They come out with guidance and they say it's not looking so great for us. These are preliminary results for their Q3 report. They lowered their net bookings guidance down from the mid $2 billion range to the low $2 billion range. They revised their full year bookings guidance downward. They said that the FIFA franchise experienced a big slowdown, mid single digit slowdown.
Well, it wasn't just one thing with these
Yeah,
games.
Dragon Age, 1.5 million players during the quarter, about 50% below expectations. Just brutal. What's it down this morning? 15%, 17% now.
So I'll be getting stopped out.
Yeah,
I just want this stock to do well, kind of like you're saying, Spencer, so badly.
it took so long.
Yeah, been
to
staring
get
at
back.
it forever. Yeah. Yeah, it's been sideways really since 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Too. It's been a long time. Looked like you got a nice breakout following the election last year, and boom, slammed back in the box. I'll be stopping myself out. Who has time for this? Bummer on the EA. Is gaming just not going to be dominated by the old players in the future?
Dude,
Isn't it as simple as that?
I have been asking myself that question for a minute because, for a long time there, you had the big three. You had EA, you had Activision, and you had Take-Two. Activision's gone now; they're off the board. That just leaves EA and Take-Two, and they've both kind of done nothing for a long time. Well, I mean, Take-Two it's only been a couple years, right? I guess 4 years since an all-time high. But
not good. Not good.
But I think it goes the same way as like all the media, which is it's who is it? It's the same four companies as it's Apple, it's Amazon, right? It's I guess Meta if they want to. These
and don't forget the Asian companies.
there's 10 cents out there. That's true. TCEHY, right? Nintendo, NTDOY. Look at Nintendo. Hey, that might speak more to Japan than
Nintendo. Nintendo stock trades like it's like a consumer staple. It's the most boring stock in the world.
That might have to do with the fact that it's Japan, not so much that it's a game company. But yeah, I love that Nintendo chart because you can see when Pokemon Go happened. It was 2000 and shit. What was that spike? 2016.
Isn't it? I was thinking about this the other
day.
You
see that huge spike in 2016? That was Pokemon Go.
It was that long ago now.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I know that is because it came up during the election, right? That's the only reason I know that. But,
this was wasn't this one of our first kind of human moments where people got to see how AI or augmented reality would work?
Yep. Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Pokemon is so amazing because Spencer, I started playing with the Pokemon on the Game Boy probably when I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and it's never gone away. It never went away.
Yeah, it's impossible to know because some things are gone like that, and others just stay for. I guess it's been like you said, it's been 25, 30 years now, right? So yeah, I guess if there was a way to invest in such trends, which I guess if anything, that's the beauty of the Spot.dog and the Kalshi and all these betting markets now is you really can bet on kind of anything, which is pretty cool, I think, right? So if you could bet on the longevity of a pop culture thing, yeah, that's cool.
They're trying to do different things on Polymarket. I don't know if I'm really a fan. They're trying really hard right now. They should probably talk to us.
Maybe. Hey, we got Kenny Glick. Let's bring him on. I want to ask him about one of his darlings from the past, which is having a rough morning this morning. So, but I'm sure he's getting down and dirty in American Airlines, which is getting hit today. Maybe EA. Let's find out.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola.
Gia.
What's up?
Gia. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Not in the game this morning, Kenny.
Yeah.
It's not in the game.
One of my old-time favorites. I'm so old, it used to be a different symbol. ERTS. Who's with me?
Oh, my God. How old are you?
Where's my CMGI players? What? CMGI in the house. What's up, JDSU? What?
Hey, when I search ERTS, I do get Electronic Arts. That's
you
cool.
Go.
Nothing shows up.
Hurts. Ertz, I remember having this conversation with my father. I was like, Dad, this internet thing is legit. And I think inevitably all the kids are going to be able to go on this internet thing and play video games with each other. And I think this company, EA Sports, is positioned to really take advantage of this. I think we should buy the stock.
I have a monthly chart of ERTS. It goes back to 1990.
Yeah.
And it ends in 2011.
Yeah.
And it looked, I mean, up until the financial crisis, it looked not half bad.
it was one of the great stocks. It was one of the earliest stocks that I owned. You know, again, I was a slot machine buyer. That was my first stock. Anyway, I don't want to get into historical.
Cool. Anyway,
I remember the conversation with my father. This was brand new when the internet was getting started, and we bought that stock. And plus, I was never good at video games other than the Atari 2600. Give me a joystick and one button, I'm in. But once you got to multiple names, I remember Blades of Steel. Where are my Blades of Steel fans? It was bumper cars, it was like a hockey game, but it was more like bumper cars. It was great. But then Madden, then you had NHL Hockey 98. That was the shiznit. And I was actually decent at it, but after that I went downhill. But speaking of video games, do you guys know about PDYN? Ripping and roaring every day?
Say I do. PDY, is this on your chart right now?
No, I'm looking at KMI, but Blades of Steel. Yeah, but let's just jump right into it. Let me talk about what we did last night. So a lot of people, we've been getting new players into the room, a lot of new guys saying, hey, what's going on? What do I do? When do you tell me what to do? Remember, some of the trades yesterday, I wasn't even in. But when you know what we're doing, like Netflix, you knew we were coming in looking to short that stock. Nobody in that right mind was buying Netflix. When you walked in, it was already up 110 points. It was actually one of the easiest trades of the day because it never really broke trend. Once it broke over under the VWAP and that low 930 candle, it was just basically drifting down. I'm surprised it didn't get the prior day VWAP. But the real trade that I loved was the UAL. And again, I'll show you what we're doing with the airlines today. The UAL, you had the knee-jerk reaction. Look at this monstrous 13-point, in this monstrous move, 13 points.
Yeah.
So you follow through with it. And again, this is why I love what we do here. What you're looking at right now is straightforward. The blue line was yesterday's VWAP. The orange line was the prior day. So imagine this chart being live if it was today. When you see a stock reporting earnings that's up, we just look for VWAP breaks to retrace back to prior day VWAP. And man, oh man, did we get it. Blue line to orange line. And then this is what we call a test of strength, or in this case, the weakness. So if you're bouncing off prior day VWAP and you get back to today's VWAP and you can't hold it, that confirms that the sellers are still in control of the name, and you get another opportunity to play the rollover. So once it got rejected at the VWAP and starts to roll, if you didn't short the first one, here's another opportunity to short it again. And then later that day, look what happens here. It breaks back above that prior day. Some of the guys in our room were actually, again, that's what's awesome about the way we're trading right now. Sometimes we're on different sides in the same name because people are in it from a different price level. So we're rolling over. I'm shorting. Someone's saying, hey, I'm looking to buy the stock. I'm like, good. I'm looking to cover. Let's work together here. Next thing you know,
funny how that works out, right?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. This was a great stock to trade. So let's go back. So yesterday I did a quick session between 3:30 and 4:30, and we were looking at Alcoa. And I was saying how I don't really like to trade the aftermarket because even someone who's been doing this my whole life, the illiquidity kind of gets you. Sorry, I just blew up the chart. The illiquidity will often get you because you can't use stops, and if you don't have a good enough platform, you're going to just get whipsawed. But once you understand the market mechanics, here's the Alcoa. So we were talking about the knee-jerk reaction, the double top, and then this rollover. What was really curious was that the 1 minute and the multi-day, or the 1 minute and the 1 day, were colliding in this case. So I was looking for it to roll over and break that because stocks that are up, that break VWAP, that have just reported earnings, tend to roll over and go down. So if you waited another half an hour, look at this wonderful trade, and you got paid. And now we focus on it. What's doing today? Not much volume. I'm going to keep an eye on it just to see if these levels come back into play. But then we had an IPO. And if you guys are watching these IPOs, DGNX, no idea. Don't tell me. Ask me what it does.
IPO. What year is it? 2020? IPOs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, IPOs. So here it is. I mean, it comes out of nowhere. And someone said, hey, there's an IPO breaking 5. What? IPOs that break 5 tend to go to 750. And I was trying to explain that this is something that's been working since I started trading in the 90s. 5 gets you 750, 750 get you 10, 10 get you 1250. So once it got to 10, the 1250 got hit, and then it consolidated. So if you were sitting around, what did it do? It provided you a new opportunity. This is your Kardashian bottom right there, kind of like Andy Dufresne, and then back above here. And then look what happened when it broke because of the illiquidity in the aftermarket. Look what happened when it broke the 1250 area. It went to 17 and change. And now look what's going on today in this name. It's become all the rage. Again, I don't know what it is. I like the symbol because it reminds me of the word degenerate. So right now, if anyone's interested in this name, again, very volatile, very scary, not, again, I'll show you the AAL and then I got to run. But if it holds that price, that 1280 to 1250 area, when it goes back there again and it forms a base, I don't mind buying if it breaks back over the VWAP. So I got my eye on the DGNX. But the only trade I've done this morning, because I like to just not take a lot of risk in the morning, is the AAL. I mean, here it is. Wonderful trade. We're already in and out of it. Knee-jerk reaction was down. Whoops, sorry, I blew up the charts again. Boof. So here you go. First reaction down, another rollover, and then what do? We're just waiting for it to break VWAP. So let me just get rid of these red lines because that's where I had some stops or some triggers. Here's the bottom. It broke down in the pre-market lows.
You break above the blue line, you buy it, right?
Right. Back above. Well, first we got the faux show. Faux show. If you get the fake out, shake out under the VWAP, that's the key. You're getting the fake out and the shake out, and then you test the VWAP. There's the test of strength. It's kind of failed, but then it confirms it, and then we're just buying right here. Again, we're not the first ones in or the second ones in. We're the third ones in at $17.13. Banging it out over here at $17.50, $17.75, and some at $18. And some of us still have it, and we're looking to sell it if it breaks $17.50. If it doesn't, we're going to hang in there. Again, we got 24 minutes to the open. If it's above $17.50, we're going to hang with it. Below $17.50, we're dumping what we got left. And again, obviously, we're looking for it to go to $18.50, which is prior to VWAP. And that's the story. I'm sticking
Kenny,
to it.
what time does the schmooze start tonight?
We're going to be going all day. So, log in. I'm probably just going to run the chat room. We're going to be testing the other room with the new tech. The old tech is the new tech now. So if you guys don't know, today we got an aftermarket session. We'll do 3:30 to 4:30. Then I'm going to put on some Grateful Dead at 6 o'clock. And then around 8 p.m., I'm coming back. And we do what's called the schmooze. And I want to go over some charts, prepare you guys for something that might be happening on Friday with the options. And we'll be just rolling all night.
All right. The schmooze, along with an after-hour session, are going to be on the YouTube. So right here on the channel. So pop on over. And Kenny, we'll see you there, man.
All right. We'll go over some more of these stuff later. So be careful with the AAL. Like I said, under 1750, we're cutting it loose, but still in it right now. Later.
All right. Yeah, later. Seriously. 3:30 Eastern time. Kenny will go live on YouTube. And then he'll kind of just, I guess, like you said, just stay live. And then at around 8 o'clock, he likes doing these like monthly schmoozes where, the market's not open. He takes the time. He actually walks through the trades, kind of like what he just did, but he's not distracted by like an open position or 4 open positions or a moving market. So it's fun. I've been to several schmoozes and they're awesome and they're educational and they have some fun. So bring a drink, a cocktail, a glass of wine, whatever. And tonight, be there for the schmooze with Kenny right here on YouTube and on our site, stockmarkettv.com. Okay, let's bring on today's guest. We have John Salama in the house, and he sent over a few charts, which we always appreciate when our guests do that. So we'll bring him on and see what he's talking about or thinking about.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Salama, how we doing?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you, Spence?
What is that curtain behind you? It looks like ominous. I don't know.
No, it's protecting a lot of mess behind.
Oh, I see. Okay, good.
I got a little kid, man.
All right. It's been a minute since we spoke. How you been? Well, how's the market treating you? What's going on?
Doing good, man. Feels good to be here the day after SPX all-time highs. I'm sure SPY, follows pretty soon. Feeling good, man. Feels good to be right about calls. SPX over 6,000, Bitcoin over 100. Beat goes
Wait,
on.
when last we spoke, I believe you were just sticking with the mega caps, right? Is that still the move?
Leaning heavily on mega caps. I brought a bunch of charts of areas that folks have to be in, regardless.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. I don't think these are in any order. So why don't you just tell me what you got going on, and we'll bring the relevant chart up.
Okay, start if you can. It actually is in order. IBIT first, and then Jets. If you go that way from the download,
right.
so like IBIT first.
Yeah, let's find that IBIT. There we go.
Cool. So these are all, just so I tell the audience here, these are just sorted past 52-week best returns of the entire past year through ETF land, 1x, and with actual volume parameters fulfilled. So IBIT has overtaken GBTC as the best ETF since last, I did this from yesterday's close, from January 22nd of 2024 through yesterday. It's up a whopping, I have the number here, 159%. It's, less than, what's that?
You love to see it. It's also it's 1 year old now. It's 1 year old as of like 2 weeks ago.
That's why you saw that 200-day moving average start to pick up too a couple of months ago. So they're starting to get into a lot more providers, and you got to run a lot more analytics and such since there's more history. So GBTC was the OG. Now you have a lot more flows going into IBIT, and honestly, BlackRock does a stupendous job keeping the fees and the drag relatively low on this. You have to be an IBIT. Dollar cost average. I mean, keeping it simple. If you get in around the 21-day exponential moving average or a 50-day, take it. That's going to be around $55. In terms of Bitcoin, I was talking about on my YouTube show. You can find, John Salama in YouTube. I do a thing 3 days a week on the market close. Bitcoin's going to have these, you're still going to get drawdowns. I don't believe the drawdown is over, but, the 200-day moving average, I didn't send you a BTC chart, but I think the 200-day moving average is about 75K. The train has left the station. I know you and Strazza were talking earlier, and NJC says all the time, bull market, life rotation is all backwards.
It's okay. We knew what you meant.
Secular rotation is the lifeblood of a bull market, and you had Bitcoin doing nothing last year for 8 months, and now here we are, broke out, and I don't think it's going to see 70K. And if you remember from March of last year, the high was 73K, and that's where the 200-day moving average is now. Semiconductors, like you guys were talking about earlier, finally, it looks like we may have just finally broken out 5-6 month highs in the SMH based on that Stargate news with Oracle and all the other folks. So you could skip around. I think this is SMH now.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask you about Bitcoin in general for a second. So with the benefit of hindsight, we can look back and we can say, obviously, Bitcoin had this great breakout after a period of sideways action for most of last year, right? Mm-hmm. How do you look at the 12-month performance in Bitcoin? Do you look at it and say that it was dead money for most of that time? Or do you look at it and say, hey, if you waited from March to November, you were rewarded, right? For waiting, for your patience. So is it like a glass half full or glass half empty thing to you?
Can you go back to the IBIT chart just so we help illustrate this to folks? So I honestly, exactly the second part that you said, you get paid in volatility with Bitcoin. And I think that would have been an opportunity during those months from March to, basically right before the election, where you could have built positions, dollar cost average. Now folks are regretting, I wish I bought some at 50, 60K, 70K. That train's left the station. That drawdown is not going to happen. So if you took those 8-9 months and DCA, dollar cost average, I think that was the way to do. And again, something that's really interesting, we'll get through, like I said, I'm picking the best of the past year. IBIT probably put a better BTC chart, but the whole August through November was actually a scary period for Bitcoin. I think I was on here talking about, the chart does not look good, but you have to give a superstar the benefit of the doubt. So if you place the 200-day moving average, it was undercutting that entire period from August 5th, Yen-Mageddon, through right before the election. Bitcoin was under a still rising 200-day moving average, so you have to give it the benefit of the doubt to be long. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I play the what if game with myself all the time, right? And with the benefit of hindsight, we can see, okay, like you were rewarded if you waited, right? If you held through all that. But also in the moment, like there were a lot of better things you could have done with your money from April to November, right? Than buy Bitcoin, right? You could, most things actually were better than that. So,
But that same sense could go for everything since its genesis 16 years ago.
Again, also true. It depends on the time frame. That is very true. So yeah, okay. Talk about
Bitcoin, you got to be in. That's my first chart. That was the first one. I think that that was up 159% through IBIT the last year. The next chart is the number 2 gainer, and your boy Kenny was just talking about this. Jets up 46%. Year over year. I am in this right now. I'm in all of these right now.
What a monster.
Yeah. So similar to the Bitcoin chart. So this had an ugly period from August to October as well. The airlines, these guys look really good now. United's had like a triple in the past year. Delta's doing really well. These guys are selling all kinds of premium, luxury items, as it were. I think people are paying, $100 for Wi-Fi for 2 minutes in the air at some point. So they're just charging, and people will buy it. But these guys are doing well. Demand is through the roof. It's almost like NVIDIA, sold out through 2026. These flights are expensive, and you saw Netflix raising prices. Your flights are going to go up probably 20% in the next 3 to 6 months. I wouldn't shake a stick at that. And that inflation part is going to stay sticky. Where is it? Airfare, entertainment, and insurance. So you got to be in airlines. Pick your spots, though. This trade obviously has, to me, a little bit more to go, but be careful. I feel like in this, sometimes people just exit. But these guys fundamentally on the balance sheet, which I technically don't look at because like I said, straight up charts. But these guys look fundamentally as well, too. They're cutting expenses.
If you weren't long all this time, though, like me, for example, I haven't been long. I haven't owned the airline stock for years. You wouldn't chase it up here, would you?
Wait for a pullback to about where I have that like 21-day exponential, right around 2580, but then I would get in. This thing rarely, honestly, since the fall has bucked under the 21-day exponential moving average, and that's a convergence of all those levels at 2578 there. You see that cluster. So American is going to take this down. I think Jets might be down like 2% right now, pre-market based on that. The cluster, will move together, and then I would get in. That's a great looking chart, though.
All right. What else you got?
All right, what else I got? Third, and this is a crazy one. I was talking about this with JC last time, the FXI. I am not in this one. This is the only one of these I'm mentioning I am not in yet. This monster is up 44% in the past year. And look at this chart. So a weird looking one. You talked about Jets. You talked about Bitcoin having a scary summer. It's kind of wild. FXI not only not oversold all year, but it's been holding its 200-day moving average flat or rising since the summer. Then, of course, they have that amazing stimulus announced in October. It looks decent. I do think you have to allocate some to China, and I will be looking at FXI or KWeb in the next 1 to 3 weeks of entering. I was in it in September when I got that breakout. You saw the overbought RSI back in October with the highs. I remember talking about it on the show with you guys, and then it was just a timed option. It expired. Almost worthless, as you saw that, big swoon for 3 months. I didn't really, it wasn't really a managing position. It was a 3-month at the money call, and it did so. So FXI, though, I would allocate again. I do think this area will, if you have stomach for volatility, I think.
Steve agrees with you. And look, what I said the other day, if you feel like you missed it in October, well, you've got your chance now. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. If you're a believer in the second biggest economy in the world, it is on sale from what they thought, 3 months ago.
We're talking to airlines in China. Dear Lord, what's going on here? Okay, what else?
Well, you can't just buy the same 7 companies over and over. I hear you, man.
I guess not.
Speaking of which, the next chart, and this is crazy. I do this on my Friday recap show every week, the top 3 of the past year. Like repeat, I sound like a broken record. It was Bitcoin, semis, and then the third spot was something else. It would usually be it could just be a growth ETF. It could be sometimes like a silver or gold, something else. But now in the 4th spot is semiconductors, the SMH. Don't love to see that, but if you want to pull that up, a great looking chart. It has looked a little bit scary. This thing was like talking about video games before with Kenny. This thing was almost like a Pong level. You had controlled risk and reward 240, 260. I would just go bing, 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 bing. You buy it at 240, sell 260. And what happened this past week on that Stargate news? We finally broke above, literally, I'm getting into the weeds here. 263.5 was that 5-month high, and we broke it now. We'll see what happens today. I do think it has some follow through. You got to be in the SMH. Don't be, crazy contrarian. Look at that chart. It's had maybe, 2 weeks of scary sessions in the past year. This is world's railroads. Okay.
So don't get too cute. don't get too cute. Just own the chips and go about your business.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you have to.
I hear you.
Fourth biggest gainer. It's interesting that China and airlines have leapfrogged this, but again, it's time frame last January to last January, and China was on sale last January. So,
all right, let's keep going.
Oh, got a couple more. Next one. Oh, so these next two trades. So all the other trends I saw: Bitcoin, airlines, China, semis. These look strong. I like them. The next two. This is number 5 and 6 leaders, and they're correlated. I'll just go through one. They're very similar returns. It's GDXJ, GDX, SLV, and GLD. I gave you 2. Just go with SLV if you can. Up 39%. This is very similar to all the metals essentially. So a good looking chart. It peaked back in the fall, October, November. Again, also like a lot of these trades are like fiat concern trades, right? So you buy Bitcoin if you're concerned about that. I know Dalio was speaking about that. China, you're spreading the love. SMH, extreme, deflationary tech. But you're concerned here also silver, gold, the metals. You're concerned about what the dollar and what it has to do. And obviously the dollar has its moves. But this chart looks great. It's come under some fire in the past month or so since around Christmas. Silver, but I don't have a position in this either. This position for silver and the metals, I see a little bit precarious. I do see a reason to have building a position. I just don't like the action for the past month. So I'm being a little bit of a nervous Nancy. But I do think overall the chart looks good. But when I ran the technicals and moving average slopes, of everything I gave you, the other ones look good except these metals. I'd rather be in China, airlines, everything we just talked about, except these area. But it is one of the winners of the past year.
Yeah, hard to argue. We've been talking. Our guys have been talking about commodities for I don't know. It seems like a year now, right? Kind of the secular uptrend in metals. So hard to argue with it.
Yeah, you can pull up the GDXJ too. What I might as well do is real fast. It's similar.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, similar returns. GLD, they're all up around 39, 40% over the past year. They do deserve, I believe, a place in your portfolio. Just be careful. The last action of the last month is not great. To me, it looks like there's better areas, but I do like the diversification that you get from owning the metals. And again, we're going through all equity, so I wouldn't chase the miners. I kind of do like just owning SLV or GLD there and weighted appropriately in the portfolio, especially if you have a Bitcoin and other stuff.
You prefer the equity, the miners approach over the spot?
No, I'd rather have the GLD or SLV.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Especially I'm recommending so much equity, SMH, Jets, FXI. It's enough. I'd rather have something a little bit of a diversifier.
Okay.
And then the last one of the past year, so 3, 4, 5, 6, number 7th place.
I'm shocked. I'm stunned to see this here. Really.
This has really been a great ETF. IVW, obviously growth, similar to the Qs, just a monster. Look at that chart. I have everything we've said. Not one close or touch out of the 200-day moving average. If you're even just, insane, ridiculous with risk management, there's been really nothing for you to actually say, oh, I should clear this position off. Even in July to August, you had a really scary sell-off from overbought all the way outside the lower Bollinger Band going into Yen-Mageddon. And then still, rising 200-day moving average, you give that superstar a bone, man. If Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has a 50 like he did last night, he has 4 points tonight, you're going to forgive him. It's okay. Even if he has nothing tomorrow night, it's okay. He's going to get back to that 30-point-a-game average. That's the capital growth structure story, and you have to own it.
That's a really good analogy. If your best player scores 50 one night, or if your best player averages like 30 a game, and then he has a game where he gets he has 12 points, like that's okay. Like you can forgive him for that, right? He's gonna average 30 a game. So you can forgive him for a stinker or two.
Absolutely.
But, good analogy here. It's kind of really hard, really hard to not own this mega cap. The mega caps or just S&P growth in general, right? It has proven time and time again. Every time we get a week or a week and a half of value outperforming growth, they're like, is this it? Is this the time? And then it's like, no, it's not the time, right? It's not the time.
Absolutely. And you got this flywheel as well. We're talking about what? The biggest technological adoption, right? Through AI. Yeah. Who are these companies that are going to be able to get that flywheel of spend and get engaged? Who was in the announcement of Stargate? It was Oracle. It was Microsoft. So the flywheel is going to continue. You have to own the mega cap tech. I mean, if you're going to exit for a small firm company, a small cap company, it's going to be hard to get an exit. You have to be in the Googles, the Metas. It's just
have to.
Amazon. It's just the way of the world.
That's it. That's the way the world works. Even if you don't like it, frankly, even if you don't know you're in it, you're probably in it because these, we've gone over this a million times now, but these cap weight indexes are relatively top heavy at least. So, but yeah. All right. Great stuff. John Salama, Maverick Trading. How about this? These are all the areas you like right now. Am I to then extrapolate to say that everything else you just don't like, or you don't know?
No, I mean, you were talking about earlier with Strazza, like what worries you. There are some areas of the market that are, weak sauce. I don't love staples. You were mentioning that before.
Yeah.
I don't love materials. Healthcare, be really careful. I think people are still nervous about the Kennedy pick and what he means for the healthcare space. You're talking about the GLP-1s. They've been crap with the sector since the fall. But there's areas, real estate is still, hit or miss. And if you go a little bit more focused, a little more nuanced, be careful. The home builders held in where they had to, but I don't know if it's going to rip. REITs, be careful. And biotech overall do not look well. So there's still some areas I would avoid, but I would lean into semis, the aerospace and defense with Trump. That looks like it's going to work. Any kind of tech looks like it's going to continue to go higher. And of course, we're in earnings. And you're on the precipice of new breakouts. So, yeah.
I'm so proud of myself for not getting suckered into the XBI last fall. It broke out of that range just a little bit, and then it promptly failed. And I was like, I knew it. Fool me 3 times, shame on you. Fool me the 4th time, shame on me. So yeah, biotechs, man. I'll believe it when I see it, but haven't seen it yet. So don't know what more there is to say about that.
Yep.
Cool. All right. John Salama, everyone, Maverick Trading. Link to his Twitter is in the description. Check him out on YouTube as well. Anything else that we missed here? Oh, wait. Yes. Dawson's asking for your thoughts on Fartcoin.
I know you guys love these crazy coins, and it just, I wake up and every day something's, you see some screenshot of some guy making $800 into 2 million or something. Just, I don't know, man, relative strength. If it's over your 5-day rising exponential moving or rising simple moving average, I guess, but I don't.
There you go. Throw a moving average on the chart. Drop a VWAP or something.
I don't know. I mean, option chains are complicated enough. Getting into option building spreads and trying to run credit strategies. If you want to run crazy stuff on altcoins, have fun. There's money to be made out there.
That's what they tell me. So I don't know. All right, John. Always a pleasure, man. Have a good one. All right.
Likewise, man. You too. Bye, guys.
Right. See you. Bye. All right. It is 9. What time is it? 9:27. We'll have Sean pop in for a minute. Hey, Strazza, what's going on, man?
Hey. So I have a couple headlines we could run through while we wait for Sean too.
Yeah. What do you got?
A couple things that stand out here. I was just flipping through the paper this morning. I sent you a number of headlines.
I read an article this morning, but the headline disappointed, or the article disappointed me. The headline was about conventional investors or institutions owning risky MicroStrategy bonds, but it actually was not as what they made it out to be. So never mind. Disappointing.
Yeah, it sounds pretty boring.
Yeah.
So Vivek, sorry. Ramaswamy is out of Doge.
Yeah, this is from a couple days ago.
What happened? So
Dude,
Elon Musk is working from the White House this week? He has his own office?
This goes back to what I said. I've said this probably a few times. But it took me probably too long to understand this, to learn this lesson, but nothing really matters, right? That's the bottom line here. You were talking about Stargate yesterday. Elon Musk immediately just poured cold water on it. Nothing matters. They just say things. They just say shit. And 5% of the time it ends up being a big thing that matters. And 95% of the time you'll forget about it in a week, right? So this Doge thing, no one even really knows what that is. It's just a thing they talk about.
I know, but Spencer, but now he's working, he's actually in DC. He's probably doing things. If he's spending a week working there, he's probably doing things. I felt a lot better about Doge knowing that there was another adult in the room. Now it seems that that's no longer the case. So Elon Musk running unchecked in the White House right now. In other Elon Musk news,
Great.
when the tech billionaires fight, isn't it better than when other billionaires fight? Don't they
What do you mean by better? I don't know what that means.
They're just like little girls over here tweeting about each other when they start beefing. So he came out on the Stargate because he's heard about the Stargate, I guess. So he comes out. The Wall Street Journal article says he pours cold water on the Trump-backed Stargate AI project. Basically calls out Oracle for not having enough money. To do it. So then Sam Altman comes on Twitter and says, "No, we do have enough money," kind of thing. And then Satya Nadella, which I don't know what Microsoft thinks that they have to do with this, which is interesting. Satya Nadella comes on Davos for an interview. And he says, like, he's basically like, I have the money. I don't know what Elon's talking about. He said, look, all I know is I'm good for my 80 billion. So just really interesting stuff from all of these tech leaders.
Nothing matters.
and the market is telling you that this Stargate situation matters a little bit. Oracle, big stock, got a nice pop. SoftBank also yesterday. I don't know if Fonz had time to make those. But throw them up if they're there.
I don't know. It kind of trade on all day, Oracle. So yeah, it popped in the morning, overnight, sure. You know.
So how is Microsoft left out of this deal?
I
don't
have the answers, man. I don't even have the questions.
Really interesting. Okay, and then one more that just blew my mind this morning. Some Walmart managers get a raise, lifting their max pay above $600,000. Retailer increases bonus and stock awards for regional store managers. Also cuts some perks for.
I have not read this article. I will read this article. I love headlines like that because they're designed to make you feel some type of way. But I'm sure the devil is in the details. Right, it's always in the details.
Yeah, I got the details for you. So they're cutting some benefits, but they're increasing their employee comp line here in a big way. It seems after the changes kick in, regional managers responsible for clusters of a dozen Walmart stores, a role known as a market manager, will be able to earn between $420,000 and $620,000 if they get their full bonuses this year. That totals up from a range of roughly $320,000 to $570,000 last year.
Okay, so a high-paying job is still a high-paying job. All right, cool.
Stock grants for market managers will increase to $100,000 a year. Minimum base pay will increase to $160K a year, up from $130.
I mean,
base pay at once. I'm sorry. These are Walmart store managers. These are not.
Well, they're. I guess they're regional. I guess they're managers of more than one store, right? You just had a dozen stores, so
$600,000, Spencer.
This was already a white collar job, you said, because they make $250,000 a year, right?
How am I underpaid, huh?
So, look, it was already a high paying job. I mean, maybe it'd be nice if they spread the love a little bit, but high paying job is still a high paying job. So good for them, I guess. That's a pretty good gig if you can get it. Walmart is a monster.
That number blew my mind, but when your stock price looks like this, the way Walmart's does over the
you can afford. You can afford to do that. That's the beauty of having a public company. I guess private too to some extent, but you can use your stock as a currency, and when it goes up, everybody wants it, even your employees.
It pays to work for some of these big companies. You hang out at one of these big blue chips for a while. You look back 10 years later, they take care of you. They take care of their people.
Of course.
And it's important to point out, this is the one that's always, had a black eye for treating their employees poorly, by the way.
Well, this doesn't change the fact that their store employees make minimum wage, and also
half to $600K.
These aren't these store employees, these are managers, and also I think having to work in a Walmart is punishment enough for these people, because anyone who's been to Walmart knows it's like a war zone in there, right? So I was in one a couple weeks ago, and it was, although Target was worse. Actually, Target was worse. Target was also a war zone in a different way. So yeah, okay. What else? So we talk about we talked about EA. American Airlines is getting the beats this morning from their report. I haven't looked at it for like an hour or so. So let's take a look and see what the stock is doing. We had GE Aerospace, which we talked about the other day. Steve, GE is doing great.
This is the government stuff.
Yep, nice beat for them. This chart does not reflect the fact that the stock was up 7% today. So good news there. What else? Oh, I forgot to ask Kenny about the ASTS. Shoot, it's getting down 11% this morning. What else? Steve, one of those random those random like futuristic like helicopter companies, EVTL, is getting destroyed. Vertical Airspace is down 40% today. What else did I have on my list here? What Americans say? Americans said that it was their guidance that was bad. They guided for a Q1 EPS of a negative 20 to negative 40 cents per share. Yikes.
It always confuses me when United or Delta are saying one thing and then
I also don't get that.
I don't buy that. One of
I
them
just don't understand it.
Well, it shouldn't be the case.
I don't know.
American's the dog now.
Dude, American, it was really weird. When I was flying home the other night, we were in 5 minutes. Our flight went from we're about to board to delayed to canceled in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's like I was like, wait, what? I had whiplash. I was like, what just happened? We're about to board the plane, and they go, nope, delayed, nope, canceled.
Oh, but that's better than the alternative. You ever have them?
Yeah, no, it is.
Get you on the plane and then delay it, and you're sitting on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you're right. Or they're stringing you along for 3 hours. Yeah. So you're right. That is better, but it was just weird that it happened that way.
Apparently, the whole situation here on the East Coast, airports are struggling this week with the weather.
I mean, can you blame them when there's snow in New Orleans and Atlanta is
snow in Florida, man? It's snowing in North Florida.
Yeah, that's tough. It's really tough. I do feel for them because people down south they're not prepared for it, and I saw. I think it was Houston, some city official gave a presser and she was like, our plan is basically to wait for the snow to melt. That is our strategy as a city. We will wait for it to melt. So, good luck with that.
I had
a deep freeze.
I had a tea time yesterday. I canceled it. Cold. I'm just freezing cold here.
I was talking to Alfonso this morning. It is going to warm up next week for New York, thankfully. It's going to be in the low 40s. So
he worries. He doesn't do well.
I try to tell him it's going to be in the low 40s. That's basically summer in January in New York. We got Sean here. Let's bring Sean on. Hello.
Make government work great again. Is that what's happening?
Is that what's happening?
I mean, Musk is working in Washington. Like that's they're trying to make it cool, get some government jobs.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. I heard you guys talk about the airlines, and Strazza will attest to this. Speaking about like random delays, like what you had, Strazza will certainly remember when we were in Tokyo, seemingly 17 years ago, when we boarded our flight. This was our last flight to come home. We'd been in Southeast Asia for a month, and this was our flight to come home. And we were in Tokyo. We boarded the plane. The whole plane got filled. We got settled in our seats. They shut the cabin doors. We're ready to take off. And then the guy comes on the thing and says, sorry, folks, this flight has been canceled. And we all thought he was joking.
That's bizarre.
Nobody believed him. They had to like announce it a second time that, oh no, we are not taking off. You need to get off the plane.
That's weird.
I'll never forget that day. It was terrible. It only got worse from there. I have some hilarious pictures. I'll bring them for recess from us being in the airport because we were delirious at that point. I was pushing around John Carlo on like one of those handicap carts.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, we were all out of our minds by then.
We were there all day. I remember I ate 2 lunches. We were there for so long.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
sushi,
so you had lunch, and then you had lunch.
the sushi,
You had lunch. That's what you're
sushi
saying.
at the airport there,
I'm sure it was great.
better than sushi.
Yeah. Shout out Tokyo Narita Airport. Great food there. The lounge that we were in, the Delta Lounge, was fantastic.
I did see sushi in LaGuardia last week, and I said
don't eat
no.
that.
I said no.
Yeah.
I said I can't do the LaGuardia sushi. Can't do it. Anyway, Sean, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, I mean, it feels to me, we've been talking about it. It feels to me that the next leg of this bull market has been ignited. I'm looking at, I mean, JC likes to say, let them dance. We've only been open for 10 minutes, but as soon as the opening bell rang, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Bitcoin has started ripping. I don't know what that's all about. Bitcoin doesn't trade on the US stock market, but as soon as the opening bell rang, bing, some pop is happening. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, I just feel like we're here. It's time to get aggressive again. It's time to get long. I've been getting long large cap names, but I'm also taking some flyers and some things like QuantumScape that doesn't even do anything with quantum computing. I feel like Kenny, it's time to get aggressive. I think the market is speaking to us.
I did not notice crypto blasting off.
Yeah, it just happened. I mean, the opening bell rang and boom, we're popping. I don't know what's going on.
These breakouts are gonna be sticking out here. You're absolutely right, Sean. There's a change in character just in the tape over the past week and a half. The Bulls are back. The Bulls are back. Man.
The Bulls are back.
I don't really know if they ever left, but
it's the 90s Bulls are coming back. Repeat. Let's go.
I have a Bulls shirt right behind me. Put on my Bulls shirt. So I like Coinbase above 300. I think that's still it. Look at how clean it is. Boom.
Pull that.
I know that you don't like the miners, but some of them are still set up so nicely.
I'm so snake bitten on the miners, but I do love that Coinbase. I'm in Robinhood, and Robinhood's been. I know it's not a pure crypto play, but it certainly benefits from it. And Robinhood's been kicking ass.
Dude, the stock's up like every day. At a certain point, though, like targets hit. What more do you want from this trend? Robinhood's stretched here.
Yeah. Robinhood's stretched. I got a good cushion of profits there, so I'm okay with it. But I would like to see Coinbase follow suit. I wish it would get above. I'd feel a lot better about it if it was above like 320. But I hate to use the word constructive, but is that a constructive high base building right there in Coinbase?
It's a great base, and if you drop that VWAP from pivot highs from just early December, we've just been kind of bouncing around on it the past few days here. We got that big lower shadow from Monday. It's really interesting, or Tuesday, yeah. And then, so if you do get a breakout, you zoom out, and it's like I would imagine this thing is a magnet into the 400s, those old all-time highs.
Yep. Well, the other thing that's on my mind too, and this just really supports the case of what we're talking about, is a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I was putting on some bearish trades, some delta neutral trades, just to kind of, give me some portfolio diversification. And none of those trades are working. So that's information.
Yeah.
That's really good information.
I love that. What were some of them? Like, what were some examples?
Textron was a stock that I shorted. That thing ripped in my face almost immediately.
All that.
We're in a delta neutral trade in FCX, which isn't really working. It's not hurting us yet, but it's not really working.
Dude, getting blasted today. Did they have earnings, Spencer? The Freeport? I didn't see the earnings table. Did we put up the earnings table yet?
Yeah, they did not.
Oh, I did not see that either. Oh, that's okay. What? I did not see what's happening today.
They did at 8:00. Whoa! They missed on the top line, beat on the bottom line. What else did they say?
I was just about to say not a top in Freeport. Never mind.
Okay, well maybe that is helping my position there. Oh no, we're still losing a little bit, but that's okay.
Was that not even on the calendar? I must have.
But just messy. Like with the Textron, that's just great example of it's not just the breakouts that were failing. The breakdowns were failing too.
Yeah. And then of course we've been talking about this, but the biggest conundrum to me that I just don't know what to make of it is what's going on in Apple. Like, why is that thing not participating? What's the story there?
It's just different. It trades different. It's got its own thing. Warren Buffett was dumping all that stock last time it was selling off. So who the hell knows?
Maybe this is.
I don't think Apple is a read on the broader market, like a lot of people do.
I mean, that's
a hot
case
take
right
Steve.
now.
That's a hot take.
I think Apple just does their own thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the mother of all buying opportunities, but I'm not willing to step in right now.
Every decline in Apple is, Sean.
I mean, that's true. That's true, Spencer.
The last time you could have got this stock around the 200-day moving average would have been April of last year.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I'm choosing to bury my head in the sand on it right now and just pay attention to the other leaders that are going and just, I don't know. Can you tell I'm confused? I don't even know what to say about it. I'm very confused about it.
Buy the Google instead. Google and Amazon look so good.
Okay. Do you buy the Goog or do you buy the Goog L? And does it matter?
I do the L.
Okay.
Class A. I'm an A share kind of guy. I do the L.
Why don't they call it Goog A then if those are A shares? I mean, come on.
I don't understand the difference. That's about voting rights. Doesn't matter to me. Charts look exactly the same. I think the L has more volume. Don't quote me.
Mm-hmm. I've always been confused by that. I've traded both and haven't really noticed any difference. But
and then what do you guys do when you dabble with the Burke? You do the Burke B or the Burke A?
Oh no, I'm dabbling in the Burke A, Steve. What do you think?
Burke B.
You guys you didn't work your way up to the Burke A yet?
$694,000 a share.
What a game!
It's down. Oh my gosh, it's down. Oh my god, look at the Burke A. It's down $100,000. Is that right? In the last couple months? No, it's not quite. Not quite 100. It's down. It's done a lot.
Somebody should tell JC, because whenever this one looks like a top, we tend to fade it, and it works. And I know this would have been better a week or two ago here when we were at the lower bounds, but you have a little multi-month topping situation in the Burke.
You know, Berkshire Hathaway down 40 grand in a couple months. Yeesh. Just kidding.
Okay, let's see. What are the big movers and shakers today? We've been open for about 15 minutes.
Bitcoin still's ripping. I'm just watching it right now, man.
Your TAL for the past couple of days, Steve, has been going.
Spencer, GE, what a monster! This is a $200 billion market cap stock now, ripping 10% breakaway gap on earnings. Industrials, just I said it earlier, they look better than anything right now.
Is Range Resources an industrial name? RRC?
That's why do I want to say coal? Oh no, Range is the fund provider. No, RRC is traditional oil and gas and maybe some nat gas.
Okay. All right, never mind.
What
good though, Sean. What a chart.
What are the other there's GE and there's GEHC. What are the other tickers?
GEV.
GEV. Thank you.
Baker Hughes, BKR is the GE.
Oh yeah, they changed that ticker on me.
Synchrony Financial, SYF. If you really want to go back in time, was the old GE Capital.
I'm thinking about it because the spinoffs were somewhat. I mean, not Synchrony, but like the other spinoffs were somewhat recent.
Yeah,
I would imagine because they have a common shareholder base, they probably trade together in some way, right?
Yeah. Completely different sectors and industries, though.
Yeah, I know, but there's
probably something there.
Yeah. Okay. Not Synchrony. That's a whole different thing. But
no, it's been too long now.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we haven't been talking about lately is there seems to be quite a rebound happening in uranium. You seen what's going on with CCJ?
Yes. And it's the new nuclears that really those ones excite me. Look at the NNE and the Okilo. Kenny's probably pounding his keyboard about these names right now.
Nano nuclear. Does that sound new age tech? Wow.
They had me at the nano.
What was the other one?
The Okilo.
Quantum Nano.
OKLO. They tell me this has something to do with Sam Altman. What a weirdo.
Buy it. Let's go.
Weirdo.
No, these stocks look great, and then I also think I'm really liking the idea of doing this via the NLR rather than me coming out and trying to pick the best ones. Can be frustrating. So the NLR has a lot of these names in it. Yeah, it's got the SMR too. So I think that's a solid option. If you want to just play it through an index. It's got the BWXT in there too. It's a nice fund. With the PEG.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
all right.
So Sean, yesterday I bought Leaps on UEC.
Ooh.
So I went out to what did I do? January 2026. Let me find it. And they were just cheap. And I'm looking at this base. If you zoom out forever, do we have the UEC fonts? You probably have it handy. Because it's too funny that you bring it up.
Did you go January of 26 or did you go even further? You can go January 27.
I gotta double check. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, you could buy. I mean, I'm looking at the January
26. They were like $1.50 though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the January 27. So we're looking at 2 years out, and you could buy the at the money strike here, or a little bit in the money at this point, the 7 strike. You could buy them for like $3. That's not terrible. I mean,
it's crazy. This thing in 2 years could be $20-$30.
Right.
In uranium stock. So I went out. I went out of the money a bit. So I hit the 10s, March 2026, 10s. Paid about $1.50.
Nice.
Because
and look, if the stock doubles, which I mean, look, it's an $8 stock, right? An $8 stock in a year can certainly double. If it doubles, I mean, you're looking at least 4x on your investment, probably more for limited risk.
And that's the right pattern for Leaps, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, the ideal setup for a Leap for me anyway is to buy them when implied volatility is dirt cheap, and I wouldn't classify it right now as dirt cheap, but I also wouldn't say it's too high. Like, there's nothing wrong with buying calls here. Just me personally, I would rather do it when it's dirt cheap, like it's the lowest it's been all year, but that's just my preference. I'm a little bit more conservative than you, Strazza, as you know.
Another industrial that this just looks so good. John Deere.
Yeah.
John Deere is one of those stocks. You zoom out, it legs up, it ranges for years. It legs up, it ranges for years. And this is just another one, man. This thing's going. We were looking at this, I don't know, this time last week, thinking about putting calls on, and every single day since, I've been like, I don't want to chase it here. I don't want to chase it here. It's just one of those.
What a ride, though, since late November. Holy moly. It went from 400 to 470, came all the way back to 400, and now it's all the way back up to 470.
Yeah. It's been volatile.
That is very uncharacteristic for a company like Deere. I mean, it's trading like an internet stock or a quantum computing stock.
Well, it was the election rally. Then it got the hard fade with a lot of the pro-cyclical stuff. Then an earnings boom, and industrial's back on trend. The thing with John Deere is we'll often zoom out and overlay this with Caterpillar. They don't resolve in different directions, right? The charts, the correlation there will dislocate, for short and intermediate periods of time. But when you zoom out, the chart's resolving and following the same direction as one another. And Caterpillar looks so good out here. It's one of those situations where, what do you think? John Deere's not going to break out? 3-4 year range. It's really good stuff.
Well, that's the typical investor that is investing for the long term in Deere. They're having a little vertigo right now, I would think. I mean, they're happy where the stock's at right now, but man, that's a ride that they're not used to. That's for sure.
Yep.
Deere is doing so well, and what's not following suit is Tractor Supply Company, TSCL. Not
see those stores all over when I drive.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the ratio chart right now. Yikes.
Is that the one that Marcus Lemonis is in?
I could not tell you. But yeah.
I don't know either.
Anyway. All right, let's do recess. Get out of here.
I don't have anything today.
I got something if no one else does.
Yeah, I got some quick. What do you got?
I mean, look, I know we talk a lot of football here. Big weekend this weekend. And as everyone knows, I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. I would normally put the hat on right now, but I don't have it handy. Boy, beating the Ravens last week, I have to admit that I was not confident going into that game. The Ravens, to me, were the team to beat in the entire NFL. I thought they were the team. Yeah. And they made me nervous, and I'm actually surprised that we won. That being said, this game coming up against Kansas City in Kansas City.
Oh, don't say it.
If NFL script writers were writing a script, this is exactly how the Buffalo Bills story would have to be written, right? You have to go through Kansas City. You got to beat them in Kansas City. I'm not saying that they're going to. I'm just saying this is the story that has to be written, and I'm very excited for it. They could win, they could lose. I think both teams are evenly matched. It's a toss up. Whoever shows up and has a good day, that's the winner. I think, either team, if these teams played 10 games in a row, it'd probably be 5-5, right? One team would win 5, the other team would win 5. So whoever has the best day this weekend is the winner, and it couldn't be any better. I'm excited.
It's going to be a great game.
I'm very excited. I'm more excited for this game than I am for the other one or any other game we've had recently. This is the game that people wanted to see. They wanted to see Josh Allen get his revenge on Patrick Mahomes. So we'll see.
And they're taking the right road to the Super Bowl. Like, nothing can be said, right? If they do actually go on and win the Super Bowl this year, going through the Ravens and the Chiefs. This
is a story that has to be told. By the way, I wish I had the graphic here because I just saw this now. Sorry, but I saw a graphic that I thought was pretty hilarious. It was for both games coming up this weekend. We got the Bills in KC, and we got the Eagles in Washington. And the graphic showed, showed the entire map of the U.S. and it showed who's voting, who's rooting for who. And for the Bills Chiefs, it showed the entire country rooting for Buffalo, except for one small circle around Kansas City rooting for the Chiefs. And then similarly for the Eagles and Commanders, the whole country is rooting for the Commanders, and one small circle in Philadelphia is rooting for the Eagles. I thought that was pretty funny because it's pretty true. Eagles fans are pretty hated. I got no beef with the Eagles fans, but I know they're pretty hated.
And because you just don't know anything about them, and you've never been to an Eagles game or a game where Eagles fans come to your home stadium. If you've ever had an experience like that, you hate them, and
it's Philadelphia fans more broadly.
Go on Instagram. Just go in Instagram, look up Eagles fans, watch a couple videos.
Well, I actually did go to one Bills-Eagles game many, many years ago during the Randall Cunningham era. When the Eagles came to Buffalo, I was a kid. I went to the game. I think it was the first Bills game I ever went to. And Randall Cunningham ran for like 160 yards. I think the Bills won the game, but Randall Cunningham had an amazing game back when he was in his prime. It was awesome. Fun to watch.
Sean, you know how Bills fans have a reputation for being like just being drunk and having a good time?
Yep.
Eagles fans have a reputation for being drunk and getting angry at you.
And
they want to fight you. Right?
Dumpster fires, flipping cars, just
that is the difference. And JC will disagree because he's a little biased because he's a Dolphins fan. But Bills fans, yes, they have a reputation for being drunk idiots. And I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But they are nice drunk idiots. They are super friendly. They're very welcoming. They love football. They love competition. There's no bad blood with Bills fans, except maybe with the Dolphins fans. And that's why JC's a little biased.
Yeah, it's funny. My friends don't like hearing how much I like the Bills right now. All Dolphins fans. And since we're doing sports and the chat's reminding me, talking about referees, I do have a recess. Have you guys seen the situation that's going on with UConn men's basketball and the NCAA, and right now specifically the officials?
No, I just saw the video the other day of your coach talking to the ref and.
Did you listen?
Saying I'm the best coach, and don't turn your back on me. I'm the best coach in the country. That's what he said.
He's a spicy guy, and what's happened now is they are treating him differently for it. And UConn has always gotten treated differently. We get treated differently by the NCAA themselves. This is all facts, Spencer. Right. Look at what happened when we were trying to travel to our tournament games last year. They put us in cheap hotels. They screw up our flights. They make sure we're on like bad travel buses. It's always been a thing. They root against UConn. We're not good for the sport. The way that we dominate, it pisses them off. Now they have the officials, treating us differently. I think that's a real problem, and it hurts the integrity of the game. Listen to Dan Hurley's post-game press conference.
This sounds like a conspiracy theory. I could get behind this. This sounds
players can't move. We can't run an offense. We're getting held on every play. It's absolutely insane. So he's losing his mind, but he's not wrong about how terrible the officiating's been. We still win, though.
My recess is going to be went to the grocery store last night, and I really am not the kind of person that ever pays attention to the price of individual things. I don't really know what a gallon of milk costs, even though I buy milk all the time. I did a double take at the price of eggs last night. $10 for 18 eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife did the same thing yesterday. She
I-
went to Costco and she had to buy
Yeah.
eggs, and she told me, she came home and said, "Man, these were expensive."
We haven't bought eggs in a minute. We've had and I haven't been to the store in like a month anyway. But I was stunned. I knew, obviously, I read the headlines. I know the eggs are expensive, but still took me by surprise. And there were signs all over the place saying, bird flu with this, but
They're $10 eggs and they're probably diseased on top of it.
it was shocking. Like I went looking for the cheap eggs. There were no cheap eggs. They're all expensive. Anyway, okay.
Trailer parks are a lot nicer than Eagles tailgates, guys. Stop it.
Oh, there's the parting shot.
All right. We got the options jam session with Sean today at noon. Breakout multiplier members, you're getting 2 videos. You're getting the weekly strategy session and you're getting the mastermind today. And then as a reminder, Kenny Glick is going live at 3:30 at the close, and then he'll go live for the schmooze into the evening as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Full crew will be here, so see you there. Smash the like, give us a follow, check out all the links in our description, get Alfonso's chart of the day, get the daily charts from the show, get chart report, Strazza letter, hot corner, all that is in the description, all free. Check it out, and we'll see you. All right, go make some money.
Later.
Go Bills.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.